Women of Value Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, we have gathered here to celebrate this partnership from this different progressive organization in our continent in order to improve the socio-economic transformation of Africa for the next generation to come. Without any waste of time, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome the Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Veronica, the Chancellor of the University, Dr. Joshua, the Deputy Vice Chancellor of the University, Dr. Jean Baptiste, and also the Director of Academics of the University, Dr. Petrus, and also the CEO of Revealed Word University, Mr. Celestine. And to our speakers and partners, I would like to take the opportunity to welcome Mr. Stephen Ngobeni and also Mr. Flavio Janaero, who is the Executive Director of Panasola in Angola. And all
criminal elements must be met with the full mark of the law.
of Kasiti, and all other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, allow me once more to welcome the Deputy Vice Chancellor of the University of Venda in South Africa, Professor Nosi Sivesa, and Dr. Magajo, the President and Founder of Women of Value South Africa, and also the Honorable Professor from University of Limpopo, Professor Ngozi Sikome, and the Executive Chairperson of African Tourism Board, and all other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, those whom I haven't mentioned the names, I will acknowledge you as we proceed. As for now, allow me to request Reverend Joseph Mbanza to do the opening of this ceremony with the prayer. Allow me once more to hand over the mic to the Honorable Reverend Joseph to do the opening with the prayer. Over to you, Reverend.
I thank you. God bless you, dear Ambassador, for giving me the microphone. So let us pray. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, you can proceed.
Okay. Let's pray, please. Lord, our happiness and the source of joy, we, your creatures, all gathered here, your children, we recognize that you are the only source of life. It's because of you that we are here, not because of our works, of our knowledge, nor even social ranks. It is by your grace and your love. Before this celebration of partnership, we celebrate first your love. And it is because you protected us against several satanic and demons surprises that we are here. We want you to be with us now and forever. May the celebration of partnership be recognized in heaven. May everyone here be blessed in the glorious name of Jesus Christ. Whatever we say, whatever we do, and whatever we think, accept it to be for your glory. Let the speakers be inspired by your spirit, the moderator be directed by your Holy Spirit, and the listeners understand more. May this partnership bear fruit for the whole world in the unconquerable name of Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Glory to God. Thank you very much, Reverend Joseph.
Amen.
Feel at home. Thank you very much. Feel at home. You are more than welcome. We are here to make the difference, to move mountains, to create the opportunity for the next generation to come. Before I hand over the mic to Professor Veronica to do the opening remarks, I want also to acknowledge and welcome Mr. Morris Considera, who is the Executive Director of Polo Plus United Kingdom, and also to acknowledge the CEO of KTT Investment, the Honorable Mr. Matokua, and also Mr. Joseph Dagro, Joseph Gra, who is the co-founder of the University of Efefria in Ivory Coast, and Mr. Letabo Mugone, the CEO of Magua IT Technologies in the Republic of South Africa. And also the ambassador of Reveldwood University in Angola, and who is also the chairperson of Women of Velo Africa and the co-founder of AWBD, Ambassador Angela. With special respect you all deserve, allow me to hand over the mic to the Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Veronica. Over to you, Prof.
Thank you very much, Ambassador, for giving me the floor. I will give my short opening remarks, and directly I will proceed with the theme. Because we don't key speakers, dear colleagues and students, ladies and gentlemen. I thank you very much for joining this virtual meeting on socio-economic transformation of Africa that keeps best and sustainable legacy for next generations. We are here truly as one united nation, even though coming from different nations, but now this evening, we are one united nation. Let's unite for moving mountains and make Africa home of hope. This is like our motto. So this is a good step in the right direction to forge synergy between all of us for one goal we all want to achieve today: strengthening the partnership between Revealed University and PhD Investanto LDA. Excuse me, I don't know how to read it in maybe it's Portuguese. Yeah, for Angola. Calo Africa Media and the Women of Value Africa. We are very happy and blessed to have you platform this. We look forward to hearing
Have we lost Prof, or is my network on my side?
We lost her.
Can we all hear? We lost Prof. Yes. All right. Okay, it's fine. We will wait for her to reconnect.
Oh, I'm sorry. My mic was muted. I don't know how.
Okay. Apology, yes. Prof. Go ahead. Thank you.
Okay. I don't know if I've already finished my remark or I've already started with the topic.
No, you haven't finished the remark. You can complete the remark and start your topic with due respect, Prof.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes. I was saying that this is a good step in the right direction to forge the synergy between all of us for one goal we all want to achieve today is to strengthen our partnership or the partnership between Revealed World University and all these other organizations, WOLA and the Calo Africa Media and the Women of Value Africa. We are very happy and blessed to have you in this platform this evening, and we look forward to hearing your contributions on topic set for us this evening and learning from your insights. Thank you very much. And let me proceed directly with my topic, which is on the role of university in boosting socioeconomic development of Africa. Yeah, the objective of this short presentation is to study or to show the issue of the complex relationship between the university, the knowledge, and the socioeconomic development, which has been the subject of several international debates between researchers who put higher education at the top of development strategies in emerging countries. We will emphasize the role of the university in the process of socio-construction, but also in the socio-economic development and the new stakes to which it must face. Many questions are raised by the objective of this intervention. Here are some. The first question is, what are the real issues that African university must face? The second is, can we attribute to the university the function of social construction? Third, what is the role of higher education in the socioeconomic development of our continent? The university system between production and reproduction. That is my first point. If we consider the university as a production system, it appears essentially that it functions according to an economic principle. The maximum output with a minimal expenditure of energy and an important use of the means of production. Yeah, this I took it from an author whose name is Lawrence, who wrote in 2003 his book. That is to say that the energy is represented by the knowledge that the teachers transmit to the student in order to have a good output which will allow the university to be effective and to produce executive necessary to be socioeconomic development of the country, or it's essential to underline that the university is not only a trainer of men, it must be also a producer of ideas, that is to say, creator of new conceptual situations which contribute to the socioeconomic development. This is why the university should not be only productive in an economic sense, but rather also reproductive. What is important is not to produce, but to reproduce. This sentence clearly illustrates the current situation of some African universities through the image of taught teacher. The teacher is always a self-taught person. If he stops learning, he will quickly realize his incapacity to teach. African universities should not be reconsidered as a machine to deliver degrees, allowing access to different bodies of civilian servants. We do not simply train university students, but also researchers, because we built the university through a research dynamic. The university is not only walls or equipment, but also a good of knowledge open to the progress and the future. The university has a major challenge, that is to build a society. The role of the African universities in the construction of societies is more decisive today. Indeed, higher education is essential to the creation of intellectual capacity, and which the production and use of knowledge depend, and to the implementation of lifelong learning practices necessary for the updating of individual knowledge and skills. The accumulation and use of knowledge has become major factors in the progress of economic development and are increasingly the basis of a country's competitive advantage in the global economy. Despite the advent of these new challenges facing the university, most developing and transitional countries continue to struggle with the difficulties arising from the inadequate solutions to the nagging problems facing their educational system. Let me go very fast. Okay, this is why African university have a role and a place in this context, provided that they become more involved in this new process of knowledge production. In order to succeed in this project, it's necessary for African university to identify societal needs and aspirations. They must be able to assess and identify the political, economic, and social needs and aspirations of the societies in which they are embedded. Such information should be used for three main purposes. One, designing academic courses and programs, conducting empirical researches, and sharing information with government and other development institutions. What is now the role of the university? I'm going to finish now. Yeah, from the economic point of view, the university is facing a world characterized by globalization, and the economy remains the most powerful factor or in the index in the process of development of countries. In general, the role of higher education in development is very important insofar as the university contributes effectively to development, providing national economies with the necessary human resources. Following this logic, we must adopt a strategy of designing our African university system to help reduce the knowledge and the technology gap in order to advance our country's economies. Today, several countries believe in the indirect role of higher education that higher education could play in development and poverty reduction, while fitting in with the World Bank's strategy, which has presented three key arguments. Let me talk about these arguments. The university can contribute to economic growth by providing the human resources needed for a knowledge-driven economy by generating knowledge. The university can expand access to education, thereby improving the skills required for a knowledge-driven economy. Finally, the university could play a role in supporting basic education by providing qualified personnel in these sectors. Yeah, as our time is running, let me go directly to my conclusion. After having analyzing what the complex relationship between university knowledge and development, to reveal as sometimes paradoxical issues, it seems important to us to briefly summarize what we hope to see in the new phase of our university. For the university to contribute to the development of society, it must be open to the world, developing a spirit of partnership with other universities in order to achieve an international policy on higher education. It must be also dynamic, practical, ambitious, and rich in financial and material means. All these characteristics must be the principles that will guide the urgent reform of our universities, because it will take a lot of courage and work to reduce the social divide by putting the social elevator back in working order. We do not need cosmetic reforms, but rather in-depth changes carried out with constancy and tenacity, which can enable the universities to solve one of the most complicated, most disabling problem in its history, the general maladjustment of this higher education system, the needs of society and the economy. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Honorable Professor, the Vice Chancellor of Revealed University, for the wonderful opening remarks, and also to presenting our topic, role of university in boosting socioeconomic development of Africa. Thank you for advising us that African university should not allow to become machines to produce manufacture degrees. They need to be focused on research, innovation, and improve the life of the people. As for now, we proceed with our program. And once more, thank you, Vice Chancellor. I really, really appreciate. I want to request all our speakers to follow, to kindly, we all have been given 5 minutes to present our topic. If we overlap, it can be 1 minute, 2 minutes is fine, because we have taken time and efforts to prepare your presentation. Allow me to request the Executive Director of Polo Plus Limited, United Kingdom Trade as Polo Project, and he's also the CEO of Africa Tourism Showcase, and is none other than the Honorable Mr. Maurice Considera. He will be presenting the topic on a diaspora for keeping ethical values and identity of Africa and Africa leadership awareness. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to present the mic to the Honorable Mr. Maurice. Mr. Maurice, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Thank you, CEO of Revealed Word University, the Chancellor of Revealed Word University, Vice Chancellor, distinguished guests, colleagues, friends, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. I would like to express my gratitude and congratulations to the Revealed Word University, our host of this event. I'd like to thank them especially for calling out the works being done by Polar Projects and inviting us to become a partner in the work at hand of supporting Africa and Africans in educating and empowering Africa. I have already been introduced. I am an executive director of a company called Polar Plus that trades via 4 entities, namely Polar Plus, Polar Projects, African Tourism Showcase, and Prison Health Focus. Let me talk about Polar Projects and what it is all about. I'm tasked with running the 4 entities mentioned, including Polar Projects, which we like to describe as a thinking center of projects. We exercise our thinking on behalf of individuals, charities, and companies so that their dreams come true. We don't tell them of our thoughts, but we provoke a debate, and we provoke a debate in their minds, exploring their intended goals and guide them through to success. Polar Project is a business project consultancy service dedicated to individuals, companies, and charities. Imagine if you have a very, very successful career, you approach us, and one of our recent projects include iHealth Africa. We also created a dialogue platform we call the African Tourism Showcase, which is now on Series 5, and we are discussing the anti-poaching in Africa in partnership with Italy African Tourism Board under the leadership of Sir Cuthbert Nube, African tourism ministers, and others. And on that note, I would like to acknowledge amongst our presence, Sir Cuthbert Nube today. That's what we do at Polar Projects. Will you find us on the internet, big on the internet, barely seen on the internet, but we are, we got our very big contacts who reach very deep into the African governments and Europe. That's Polar Projects. My last speech on this platform was on the dichotomy of the self, the inner me and outer me. It's all about the African child, development, and the achievement of greatness. Today, I'm talking about the contributions of African diaspora for keeping ethical values and identity of Africa. It's rather complex, but I'll try. Africa is a continent, 54 countries, 2,000 languages, 1.3 billion people, and at least 8 main religions. The word diaspora is defined as a scattered population whose origin lies in a separate geographic location. Historically, the word diaspora was used to refer to the mass dispersion of a population from its indigenous territories, specifically the dispersion of Jews. It has been adopted by many other nationalities and races, especially after many conflicts and contradictions faced by many nations in the world. My wise teacher once said, diaspora always has some issues attached to it, mainly words like foreign, origins, beliefs, way of life, hunger, longing, belonging, aspirations, failure, success, and others. Mostly, the word diaspora is the negative connotation of disintegration, loss of identity, hatred, war, loss of morality, failure, pain, or even death. But in equal terms, diaspora is also associated with fortune, success, riches, respect, honor, love, abundance. Diaspora also reminds me of the story of Joseph, the boy with a coat of many colors, sold into captivity but becomes the cornerstone of the establishment. Diaspora can also be seen as being treacherous. Why did you leave us? It can also be seen as, why did you persecute me? Diaspora can also be asking, why do you hate me so much? Yet I am one of your own. The wise teacher of the African child once said, there is no race that will teach you more of diaspora survival than the Jewish nation. He elaborated that there is no diaspora Jewish millionaire or billionaire that does not give their first allegiance to Israel, the country. So there is something to learn from Israel and the way it treats its Jews in the diaspora. So the question is, how do African countries and African governments treat their diaspora in Europe and in America and elsewhere? So African diaspora contributions for keeping ethical values and identity of Africa I always speak in terms of the African child. I see myself as an African child, addressing you from my work base in Scotland, living in England, but born and raised in Africa. I'm an African child in the diaspora. I have Africa running through my veins. Today, as we lose our original Pan-African leaders, Kenneth Kaunda is just gone. One by one, we are faced with the problem of extinction of ethics and ideals of our African nation. We are surrounded by African children, confused by leaders who don't care about African humanity or ethics or Ubuntu. The African child is silenced by guns, imprisonment, and torture, while African resources are pillaged and mortgaged to shadowy political family conglomerates and gangster entities. The African child faced with dying grandmas, aunties, and uncles due to poor health and lack of universal health care. The African child gets more confused. The African child realizes that education is useless. You only need to belong to a certain family or a political party. But where are the standards? You earn your PhD and still remain as poor. But at Polar Projects, we believe that the African man and woman is the maker of happiness and also the maker of their own misery. Furthermore, the African man and woman are the creators and perpetuators of their own destiny. Those things are externally imposed. They are internal conditions. Their cause is neither deity, nor devil, nor circumstance, but thought. So this being so, it follows that to alter the reactive condition, we must alter the active thought. The African man and woman have no power to be happy while they are thinking and acting selfishly. Where there is no cause, the effect will definitely appear. The African man and woman can purify their nature. They can remold their character. There is great power in self-conquest. So imagine two neighbors, one who thinks selfishly and the other one who is acceptive. And we need to be more accepting of each other, because one singer said, to change the world, change the man in the mirror. And as an inquisitive African child, I once asked wise teacher as to say, did Nelson Mandela discover, what did he discover while he's in prison for 27 years? And wise teacher said, it was the same thing that Martin Luther King and Mahatma Gandhi discovered when they were incarcerated. So therefore, we as African people, we need to look into our own selves, change our habits, love each other, and be the greatest of the greatest. I remain yours, Maurice from Polar Projects, and thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. All protocols observed. Thank you.
My Honorable Sir Maurice, as always, your speech is touching. We wish from the bottom of my heart that there were 20 million people listening to your speech, because your speech, refine us to look things differently. Thank you very much for reminding us about the inner me, the outer me, the girl child and the boy child of Africa, and the two neighbors. I think speakers here today realize the quality, the intelligence, and the wisdom African people have. And thank you also for reminding us more about the wisdom which is engraved in the diaspora community. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, for those who have just joined us now, we are at the speaker number 4, who was Mr. Morris, the Executive Director of Polo Plus Project. Then we go to the 5th speaker, who is the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Administrative and Strategic Planning of the Revealed Word University, Professor Jean Baptiste. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, when I hand over the mic to the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Administrative, Professor Jean Baptiste. Professor, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Levy, for giving me this opportunity to speak to this large audience. First of all, I thank the Lord for this great opportunity that we have to celebrate partnership between Revealed Word University and organization from Angola and also Women Leading Change. So we really appreciate this great event. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Honorable Chancellor of Revealed Word University, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Executive Director of Revealed Word University, and all leaders with whom we are developing partnership, and special guests in this celebration. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm really honored to speak about the topic, African leadership, awareness, and fair trade and the free trade. As we are introducing this topic, all of us, we are created by our Lord with a great purpose, fulfilling God's will in this world. So here as Africans, we are really privileged because we are even in a continent where Jesus Christ also was born, and he has also been rescued from persecution during his period. So we praise the Lord to be Africans, a continent that is really well blessed in many areas. And currently, as leadership is concerning, leadership is really key matter in all sectors. Because when we see the history, previously the leadership sector was not really well considered. And if we want to be successful in all areas, previously skills were considered as important, or tools were considered as important more than leadership. But as the time is really going on, the leadership is taking the highest place in achieving successful results. Currently, what is important for a leader is not to know everything, but to know where he can find everything. So as Africans, maybe we need to consider that for many years, the leadership in Africa was characterized by dictatorialship and not really motivational ones, and protecting self-interest than general interests. But motivational leadership is really key nowadays, because in motivational leadership, we are creating the willingness to serve. And when the leader is not there, the followers have to continue to be focused on their duties, even if the leader is not there, because there is a willingness. So today in Africa, we need really to shift from such paradigm, from dictatorialship into motivational one. But those who are able to serve like that are those who are really understanding the God's commission, the Great Commission, that we are not here only to serve our ego, but to serve general interest. So as the free trade and free and equitable trade is concerned, it's really very, very central, because we have many opportunities in Africa. Imagine, we are a continent that has the greatest human, in terms of number, human resources force than any other continent. And when you go deeper in such human resources, we have the great number of youth, which means the workforce is really high when we compare other continents. Also, the other opportunities is that we are a continent that has the greatest underground resources. Mineral resources are really very, very high when you compare other continents. Also, in terms of know-how, the skills, so many human resources in Africa are really highly equipped in terms of skills. When you see in different continents, many inventions have been also done by Africans. So, which means in terms of capacities, Africans leaders are really well equipped and able to be innovative leaders. So if we see currently how, for example, raw materials are taken from Africa and be transformed outside, you will discover that the countries of Africa are really losing much when it's time, for example, to buy finished products, completed products. So our raw materials are taken on a cheaper price, but the price that we are paying to buy completed or finished product is really very, very high. So we have to pay attention. So pay attention in terms of what kind of investment we are really developing in Africa. It's really important to think of processing enterprises, industries, so that the raw materials can be transformed in our continent, and also to put into place different strategies to keep in our continent human resources capacities. Why some leaders may decide maybe to go in other countries, in other developed countries, instead of serving their own countries. Maybe it's how they are treated elsewhere, but there is possibility even to remunerate equitably our human resources power in different countries. And also it's really important to raise the awareness of enhancing values, because we know we are Africans and our first role is to serve our continent and to be able to prosper and also ensure the prosperity of our future generation. So in terms of sustainable development, we are addressing our current needs, but without necessarily sacrificing the future generation capacities to address their own needs. So as leaders, keep in mind that we have to show a clear direction and provide a clear strategic leadership for our future generation, and uphold our humanitarian values. So Ubuntu in terms of African concept, it's really fundamental. It's not good to have material things when we are losing the humanness values. It's really fundamental. So providing key values as Africans and be able to share our resources equitably will be able to promote future generations' capacities to survive. So let's be united and develop the partnership in different areas, in education, in other areas. We'll discover that it will be really easy to develop Africa. Even it is the only country that, the only continent that has the largest space to cultivate. Even in agricultural sector, it's the largest continent that can be really well developed. Even the productions are really with high quality without necessarily including other elements to get transformed crops. So may the Lord bless all of us while we are uniting and while we are developing the partnership that will lead to transform our Africa as our home. May God bless you all. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Professor Deputy Vice Chancellor of Ridgewater University, for your good speech and the motivational one. Now I can see we are having the following speaker, who is Kazim. Is Kazim there? Please, if not there, okay, yes, Ambassador, thank you for joining. I can hand over mic to you. Thank you.
Thank you, CEO, for taking over. Much appreciated.
Yes, Ambassador.
Hello, the network cut me off. You can proceed with the next speaker. It's fine.
Yes, the next speaker is Mr. Kazim, is the Managing Director of Carlo Africa Media from Nigeria. And if Kazim is not there, let's directly go to Dr. Patrice, the Director of Academics, Research and Quality Assurance in Ridgewater University. Thank you, Dr. Patrice. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. Am I audible?
Yes,
yes. Prof.
Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity to speak. As I was saying, I always become very happy when I'm talking about kingdom business. And yeah, it's really a very exciting topic as Ridgewater University that we can put forward as we actually intend to develop Africa using like our Christian values and Christian integrated teaching. My name is Dr. Patrice Habinshuti, and I am a business development expert. I've worked here in Rwanda and across East Africa on various aspects of business development, and also in academia, various universities, currently also teaching entrepreneurship at the University of Rwanda. Yeah, with this topic, existing potential opportunity to kingdom business for boosting Africa's economy. This topic is very interesting. I heard very much about the previous speaker, two speakers, and one of them had a very exciting call for us as African people when Mr. Morris was talking about like being the child of Africa. So being the child of Africa, we have all to operate thinking about that and having that very like excitement and spirit within us. And you would wonder why Africa like continues to become really that continent where everyone has pity about us. While we have that understanding of being the child of Africa. Moreover, not only being the child of Africa in its sense, but I'm going to tell you about the Christianity in Africa and you are going to see that sometimes we don't exercise our duties or our responsibilities as Christian people in the marketplace. So according to a survey or a study in 2018 by the Gordon Conwell Theological Seminary, more Christians live in Africa than any continent in the world. We've like 631 million Christians in Africa. And the study also says that, let's say, Latin America has the second highest with 601 million Christian. Europe has the third with 571 million Christian. You can see that Africa has the highest number of Christians. And with the updated numbers, there are now nearly 685 million Christians in Africa in 2021, with 760 million expected by 2025. And this is more than the area estimate that was saying that we would have at least 630 million to 700 million by 2025. You can see that even the number of Christian people are becoming higher, is becoming higher even than what we were expecting. But our continent continues to have, like, to be that continent that remains poor, that people cannot do business. And even when they do business, when we as people do business, we do it really using bad principles. So we put our Christian aspect aside, and we operate business in another way. And when we go to this part of the topic saying, like, the potential for us as Christians to engage into kingdom business for boosting Africa's economy, we should first know about, like, what is kingdom business? Kingdom business are for-profit business, as I have said a lot in several classes that we have had about kingdom business. But for new people on the platform, we as Christian or believers, we have to operate everywhere using our kingdom business aspect. We don't have to separate ourselves like from like Monday to Saturday and then Sunday, or Monday to Friday and then Saturday and Sunday. And we are two different like people, like operating differently. A Christian in the church should be the Christian in the business. And if we could have been using these principles, kingdom business principles, already Africa's economy could have been developed for a very long time. And when we are talking about economy, with the kingdom business, at least I wanted to, through this talk, that we review a bit what we can call like the principles of God's economy. Like operating a kingdom business, that doesn't mean charity, of course. And I want to say that if you read your Bible, for us who are Christians, and we want to actually review these principles of God's economy, you would read the parable of talents. And when I read that, I can maybe summarize a few principles for tonight that we can lean on as Christian people and build a prosperous Africa as Christian. If Africa has more Christian than any other continent in the world, we should also be the ones who are developed than other people across the world if we use the principles of God's economy. So that's the opportunity we have. We have that potential of being Christian. We have that potential of having more kingdom business on the Africa continent because we have more Christian people. The same people are the ones who are operating in the marketplace. And let's review these principles of God's economy. Number one, God has given each of us the talents in the form of gifts, skills, treasures based on our abilities. So everyone among us on this platform, in this meeting, you have specific abilities, and given your abilities, based on those abilities, you have been given the talents in the form of gift, skills, treasures, based on those abilities that you have. But most of us, we are not exercising these gifts, skills, treasures that we have. We want only to beg and to actually continue, let's say, like thinking that others are more smarter, they have no more, but we have been given those that are based on our abilities, what we are able to do, unique to us, to each one of us. So you can read Matthew 25, 14, and 15, and you will see that each one of us has like the talents in the form of gift, skills, treasures, based on his own abilities. Number two, then each one has the responsibility to exercise wise stewardship over those talents through trade. We have to trade. Africa has to trade. When God has given the talents, when he came back, he said, okay, how much have you traded? And asked everyone among the people he had given the talents. And remember, each one of us has these talents. So we have a responsibility to exercise wise stewardship over those talents through trade. This is business, kingdom business. So for this, you can read Matthew 25, 16, and 17. So number three, whenever there is trade, there must be a profit. Kingdom business is not charity. It is not non-profits. It is not to give all you have earned, and give it away and remain without no business. It is rather principles, the way you operate in everyday life in the marketplace, being the ambassador of Christ, acting just, and making sure that you are there as an ambassador of Christ in the marketplace, being a change, doing the right business and with the right principles. So whenever there is trade, there must be a profit. And how do you use those profits? Also remember the principles, God's principles about that. So Matthew 25, 16 to 17, you will see that whenever there is trade, there must be a profit. So don't worry, don't say that, oh, if I operate a kingdom business, I will not be profitable, so I have to be to follow the other things that the world does to be profitable. No. So profit is the fruit of proper stewardship and not the reward. That's also another principle of God's economy. Profit is the fruit of proper stewardship and not the reward. Matthew 20 and 22, 25, verse 20 and 22. And then the talents that you have are given to be traded, not hidden. So we are returning back to the trade. Trade is much emphasized here. You can see that in Matthew 25, 18. So another principle, each of us must render an account for the use of our talents. So if we are not using our talents, my friends, my brothers and sisters, someday we'll be asked to render an account of how we have used the talents we have been given. You can consult Matthew 25, 19. The reward of our stewardship is the increase of our responsibility and the entrance into the joy of the road, the ultimate fulfillment. So, like if we are good stewards of what we have been given, we are given more. We receive an increase of the responsibility, not only for the business, for the assets, but also for the entrance of the joy of God. We are not only rewarded by like increasing our business, but we are also rewarded like the ultimate reward of the kingdom. You can see Matthew 25:21. So another thing is that each of us will receive equal rewards in spite of the number of talents that we start out with. Don't say that I have less, I can't do kingdom business. No. Like if you received less, you have to trade those things that are less, and you will grow. There is growth. Don't say that trade is for those who have got more. You can start simple. You can start soon as possible with the small things that you have, and that can work for you. And if you start with that, and tomorrow, like you receive more, you continue to grow, each of us, each of these 661 million, each of us, if we could like use our power as Christian people to start something, to use these principles of God's economy, yes, that's an opportunity for the African continent to really stand out. So fear is often the root of poor stewardship of the talents that God has given us. Yes, this is right. Every one of us, we have fears of all kinds. We have all kinds of fears. You can't do something. I can't do something. My neighbor can't do something. We end up all of us sitting and looking up to others, other continents who are doing more. So this thing that is about the fear, you can consult Matthew 24:24. And then for those who hide their talents are considered wicked. And really, there will be a punishment about like, you will be giving an account. And
ntuzatanga imbabazi ngo nawe bazaziguhe, ushobora kuzibura ukazisubiza.
Maybe you can mute your microphone. Someone can mute your
ushobora kuzibura.
Hello? Okay, so let me continue. Okay, I was saying that fear is the root cause of poor stewardship of the talents that God has given us. And I would prove you here, everyone here, who has not done something or who is doing less. Sometimes we don't dive into the deep waters. We don't go and like reach our full potential because we have fear somewhere that maybe something will go wrong if we invest, if we trade, if we do business. So, and that like prevents us from reaching our full potential. So if you hide your talents, then you will give an account of really why, and there will be, it's not like God's terrorism. So that's real. So we have to give an account of how we have used. And if we have hidden this, of course, that would have given like had an impact on our continent, on ourselves as individuals, on our countries, but also as individuals later would be responsible for that. And I have to maybe end my my remarks by talking about two interesting things. God's economy rewards productivity and punishes unproductivity. We have to be productive as children of Africa, as Christian, we have more Christian on the African continent, and we have to really like increase our productivity. And each one in the part of our talents had doubled the talents or the gifts that were given. So if we can have the productivity, and then we will be well enough to develop our continent in accordance with God's principles of economy. And sometimes we say like, okay, God's not fair, has given more to this one, I received less. So we have all kinds of blames. But remember, I can say that God's is not fair, but God is just. So God is just, he has given you what you can use, what is in accordance with your abilities. As we are here today, this evening, let's reflect on what talents, what gifts, what things that we can trade to make our continent reach the higher level of growth, to boost our continent economy using this principle of God's economy. Thank you so much. I wish that everyone could start something tomorrow, could have like you could do a review of what you are capable of and really start something. All of us can join our hands and develop Africa.
Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you,
Patrice.
thank you.
Yes, go on, Ambassador Riva, go on.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Patrice, for the wonderful presentation and reminding us about the good talent we have. We are at item number 8, according to the program, but I think Mr. Ngoweni reflect on the program. He's also at number 17. So for now, I will skip number 8 and go to number 9 and request the Executive Director of Pensamandos Ectovos from Angola, Mr. Flavio January. My apology for wrong pronunciation. May I hand over the mic to you, sir, if you are in the audience? Mr. January, the Executive Director from Angola.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Over to you.
My name
Thank you.
is Flavio January. Yeah, I'm from Angola. Difficulty, please, English. I am speaking the beauty. Vou pedir à doutora Ângela que nos ajude a fazer a tradução devido à condição da língua.
Dear Ambassador, our chef, our intern today, he's really helping with translation.
Sorry, put your mics closer to you, the two of you. You are not audible. Put your mics close so that we can hear you and proceed interpreting. We can't hear you.
Yes. Sabe que de facto Angola tem-se privilegiada por este momento.
Cannot hear.
We can't hear. Please put your mics very nicely and you will still get the platform. Let us try again and see how it goes. Mr. January, can you speak and then Ambassador Angela will interpret. Let's try one more time. Go ahead, sir. No, we can't hear. It's fine. We will give you another chance to present because you have taken efforts and you are one of the new partners to sign a MOU with Revealed University. Mr. January, just change the spot where you are and maybe you'll be audible. While they preparing that, may I go to the next item and see if Mr. Letabo Mugoni is in?
Yes.
Are you in, sir?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Can you let me give the mic to you, the CEO of Magua IT Technologies, PTY in South Africa. He will address us on how to make Africa socio-economic development using the IT. Over to you, sir, Mr. Letabo. Hello, is Mr. Tabo in? Okay,
Sorry,
fine.
Ambassador is not there.
It's not here. Okay, fine. Oh, it's not in. My apology. Thank you. I thought he joined us. May I kindly then move to the next item, who the Chancellor of the University and also the President of International Mission and our Chancellor, Dr. Joshua Becker, who will present on how to keep values of dying a world of a new normal. The Chancellor, may I hand over the mic to you, Dr. Joshua Becker.
Thank you, Ambassador Levi. Good evening, everyone. The new norm, they talk about new norms. It's actually new abnormals, because what's happening in the world today is we're going away from what is normal at an increasingly rapid speed, and it's becoming more abnormal. We are social beings. We need contact with each other. We need to build relationships. We need love, and we have emotions, but that's been taken away from us for various reasons. And I believe that this COVID-19 pandemic will come to an end soon, and then we can at least start moving back to normal social living. But in other ways, the world is also changing with globalization in other areas. And as a result, many people are going into fear. And fear is the opposite of faith. We're a people of faith. But many Christians today are walking around in fear, worried about this, worried about that, worried about getting sick, worried about dying, worried about making money. And we're not supposed to work or live that way. We are people of faith. There's a story about a Native American chief explaining to a younger person how to do the right things. And he says to this young man, I've got on my right shoulder, I've got a little man who speaks good into my life. And on my left shoulder, I've got a little man who speaks bad into my life. And they're both sending messages to me. And the boy said to him, how do you know, sir, which one to? Thank you. Okay, so the young man says to the chief, he says, how do you know which one to follow? And he says, the one that I feed the most will speak to me the most. And if we feed ourselves on fear, if we feed ourselves on negativity, that's what we're going to become. We're going to become fearful and negative. But if we feed our faith, then we will become strong, and we will not be moved by fear, but we will be moved by faith. We're supposed to be a people who are not moved by what we see or feel, but by what we know. It's like the coronavirus is invisible. We can't see it, but we believe it exists. It's the same thing with our faith. We can't see it, but we believe it exists. We can't see God, but we know and believe that he exists. So let's listen to him and not to all the negative voices. And the best way to do that is to put Jesus at the center of it all. Jesus at the center of our lives. If he's at the center of our lives, we will be following him. We will be listening to him. We will be hearing him, and we will be doing what he says we should do, and our faith will be built up. So what we need to do is take the words, the Bible, and read the Bible every day. Speak the word over our lives. Read it out aloud. In Joshua 1 verse 8, it says, meditate on this word. Meditate on this word. What does that mean? It's not like in a Buddhist or Hindu way of meditating. It's a Christian way of meditating. That word meditate means to take the word and habitually mutter it. So we should be speaking the word continually over our lives. The more we speak the word over our lives, the greater our faith will be, and the better we will be able to sustain ourselves against the attack of the enemy, against the attack of abnormal behavior, and we will be able to stand strong and firm in the faith and knowledge that Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior, and that we will not be moved by anything else. The only way to do that is to feed ourselves with the word of God. So thank you for listening to me. Bless you. Goodbye.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Joshua, for the good message. Gra from Ivory Coast, who is the co-founder of University of Efretia, who will be talking about conflict management in African communities. Mr. Joseph, are you in the audience?
Mr. Joseph is not there.
Okay, thank you, CEO. In the absence of Mr. Joseph, can I request that the CEO, Mr. Celestine, who is the co-founder of and the CEO of Revealed Word University, and the chairperson of Revealed Word Business Companies and director of International Mission and Strategic Mission, and founder of African Career Development Center, and ambassador of African Tourism Board, Kigali, Rwanda, who will be talking about working for saving next generation. As CEO, can I hand over the mic to you?
Thank you, Honorable Ambassador Levi, for giving me the floor. Honorable Vice Chancellor of Revealed Word University, Honorable Deputy Vice Chancellor, Honorable professors, doctors, with respective you. This is the opportunity and a wonderful day where we have to speak what is in our minds from the bottom of our hearts, so that we show where we are going as one continent, and should I say one nation, and to see how we can shape our continent. It is really important that we talk about our continent, Africa, as the continent that is considered to be poorest continent, but also having rich whether natural human capital resources. It is a shame when it comes to really describing Africa as a poorest continent. And we Africans, this is our time. This is your time, this is my time. And we have to focus on vision that really will drive us to have success. When it comes to having vision, Africans, really, I really request you to unite. Let's unite our efforts so that we may achieve something that is greater. Considering to what have been said by previous speakers. It's important that we have human capital. It's important that we have natural resources. It's important that we have the will. What is really remaining, it is putting into practice what we're speaking, what we're saying. This is the reason why, as revealed World University, we're having partnerships, because we know we cannot develop as a single university. We will develop when we're joining together with other universities, not only university, but also business companies, non-profit organizations, governmental institutions, so that we join together our efforts and contribute to the socio-economic development of Africa. But there is an issue. We have really to work for next generation. We are the results of the thinking, the thoughts of our foreparents. We are the results of our ancestors. What they thought, now we are the result. It is the reason why we should, for current generation, think the next generation. When it comes to thinking for the next generation, let's develop those infrastructures that will last for a long time. This requires sacrifice, not really interesting in things that are in a shorter time. Let's really build on what is going to last for our children, for our grandsons, because it is really important that we look Africa into this perspective. Yeah, we are like a generation that is really contributing, that is not going to really have fruits of this contribution. But wherever we'll be, God will be happy for really the fruits of our efforts. When it comes to developing Africa, it requires sacrifices. Because we're speaking, we don't have much time to put into practices, but at least let's shape our ideas so that we mobilize youth to develop for the next generation and the next generation after next generation. I don't have much to talk. I would like to really recognize your presence, your contribution to the development of Africa in partnership with the World University, and assure you that we will continuously be part of you when it comes to developing our communities, our countries, and our African continent. Thank you. May God bless you.
Thank you, CEO. More than welcome. We really appreciate. Without any waste of time, ladies and gentlemen, before I can hand over the mic to Professor Mapotsa, I need to check with Mr. Flavio January from Angola if they managed to put together the sound system, the mic, together with Ambassador Angela. I believe they are in different location in Angola. So this one speaks Portuguese, and then she will have to interpret. Hello, Mr. January, are you audible? Honorable Angela, can you hear us?
Yes, please, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. And then what about January, Mr. January?
Dr. Januário, consegue ouvir-nos? Dr. Januário, consegue ouvir-nos? Doutor Januário, consegue ouvir-nos?
Sim, doutora, por favor.
Doutor
Mr. January, please
Ali?
go ahead. Angela is
Let
on
me-
the other side to interpret. You can proceed,
He's there.
the two of you. Thank you.
Is there?
Angela, over
Okay.
to you.
Doutor Januário, consegue entrar?
Sim, doutora, estou com as condições técnicas meio negativas, então o doutor Miguel vai falar para nós. Por favor.
Hello, Ambassador Angela.
Doutor Miguel, atendendo as minhas questões técnicas, doutor Miguel, por favor, intervir.
Doutora Ângela,
Por favor.
para facilitar, o doutor Flávio nesse momento está com problemas técnicos, pelo que vimos, mas se a organização me permite, eu falo, portanto, em nome da nossa organização, falo ao doutor Miguel.
Ok, o doutor Miguel vai poder falar em inglês, certo?
Não, eu vou preferir falar em português porque, pronto, também estamos com alguma dificuldade, mas, aliás, tínhamos preparado estar com o Dr. Flávio, mas vou fazer, tanto uma introduçãozinha em inglês, mas depois continuo em português.
Tá bem. Dr. January has problems with his device. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
However, Dr. Miguel, his deputy manager, will replace him. He will do
Good.
a short introduction in English, and then he will continue in Portuguese. He will try to be short to translate for him.
Lovely. Let the other speaker, the deputy, come in. They welcome. If we can hear Doctor, I'm very, very much sorry. We wanted to hear Doctor. The deputy executive director can start.
Dr. Miguel, está à vontade, pode começar.
Thank you. Thank you. First of all, I want to thank God for this opportunity to be here and to speak with us. I'm sure that to sleep and to wake up is the grace of the Lord, you know, and we are here now to speak about our experience and to develop from the economic society in Angola. Mandela said that the education is the grand weapon we have to change the world. And we think that to change the world is like that, when we can change the experience and we can speak like brothers and family, African families. Now I want that Mr. Angela can translate our discourse. We have 4 points to speak about our theme. Doutora Ângela, nós temos aqui 4 pontos importantes que queríamos partilhar sobre o tema que nos foi dado. E agradecia que de alguma forma pudesse partilhar com os demais enquanto nós vamos fazendo a tradução.
Angela, would you please unmute your mic, Angela?
Yes, he said that according to the term that was given, they have four points to share.
Nós pensamos que O desenvolvimento socioeconômico africano está inteiramente ligado, primeiro, com o desenvolvimento social ligado ao capital humano.
We believe that African development and even any social development is related to the human resource development.
E este desenvolvimento socioeconômico ligado tanto à valorização do capital humano é, de resto, uma aposta e investimento indispensável que os Estados africanos têm que urgentemente fazer se queremos ter uma África cada vez mais estruturada.
And this social and economic development that that Africa is discussing about is directly linked to the human resource development, and this is the matter number one that Africa needs urgently to find ways to develop.
E associado a isso deve haver, de alguma forma, algum comprometimento sério das instituições do Estado para com a juventude.
And associated or linked to this matter, we need a commitment, a serious commitment from public institutions of government related to youth development.
E este é, de resto, o ponto 2 da nossa abordagem sobre esse desenvolvimento socioeconômico, que é o investimento a ser feito, não somente o investimento infraestruturado em infraestruturas, mas também o investimento em meios e tecnologia para que facilite que a juventude, principalmente, que deve representar em volta de 70-75% da população africana, tenha acesso à tecnologia em primeira mão.
And this commitment through a serious investment to develop solutions for youth is linked to the investment in technology, which helps, which assists on this development. And this is a urgent matter. This investment is the urgent matter for this era.
Mas também temos que partir do princípio que a África tem uma realidade diferente dos demais países e demais regiões do mundo.
Also, we can see, and as we know, Africa has a different reality comparing to other countries worldwide.
O desenvolvimento africano deve ser integrado, mas, acima de tudo, deve ser realístico. E nós não podemos perder as nossas raízes, seguindo, de resto, tanto a visão ocidental. É preciso mantermos as nossas raízes, mas proporcionar e garantir o desenvolvimento tanto da África.
So African development has to be realistic and integrated, because we can't lose our roots, we can't do copy-paste of other experience, because we have our own reality and we need to take it in consideration.
Os profissionais africanos devem ser cada vez mais valorizados, porque eles proporcionam e vão sempre proporcionar esse desenvolvimento africano.
We need to give more value to African professionals, because they are the one who have the task to develop Africa. And while waiting on that development, they will also give more value to their task as well to its results.
É verdade que as sociedades não desenvolvem-se por si só. É preciso que haja investimento estrangeiro, em capital e infraestruturas, mas é essencial que não percamos de vista aquilo que são, de resto, as nossas estruturas, as nossas fundações.
That's true that this investment, the investment that has to be mobilized for socio-economic development is not only about infrastructure, but also empowering the human resource, empowering women so that that development can be sustainable.
Quando falamos em investimento, e aqui nós queremos trazer como terceiro ponto a aposta do executivo na sua juventude, comprometimento do executivo para com o resto, com o seu povo. E trazemos aqui a experiência de Angola como uma experiência que nós achamos importante partilhar com vocês.
When we talk about government engagement through to empower the youth, we would like to share an experience from here in Angola, what we are trying to do, what we are doing, what is happening. And this is our point number 2 for this speech, for this presentation.
O governo, o executivo angolano, desde 2017, criou um programa de envio dos 300 milhões de estudantes universitários para fazer cursos de mestrado e doutoramentos no exterior do país, financiado com recursos do Estado.
The Angolan government, since 2018, has created a program to send out of the country 3 million, right? Am I right, Dr. Miguel? 3 million students? 300,000 students out of Angola for training in different economic sectors, different areas. So it's an experience that has started since 2018, and the fund for this investment came from government income.
Mas dentro de muitas boas informações, aquela que nos preocupa é o facto dessas universidades que foram selecionadas para envio de estudantes angolanos no exterior do país, e nenhuma delas contemplar de resto universidades africanas.
What surprised us and did not make us so happy is all university choose, none of them is an African university.
Isso estranha-nos porque nós falamos e defendemos como organização pensamentos ativos que devemos ter investimentos e apostas cada vez mais integrados e a valorização do capital humano africano.
This is a matter for us. It's something that we are worried because our organization, Pensamentos Ativos por Angola, defends the fact that all investment for human resource has to give value to African. Okay, we need to share between Africans our experience, because that will help us not to lose our roots.
E este é, de resto, o quarto ponto que nós trazemos nessa nossa abordagem.
And this is our point 4 in our discussion.
Que é a necessidade do desenvolvimento social, econômico-social e a valorização do capital humano africano seja feito sem barreiras e fronteiras.
And this is our point number 4, where the socio-economic development and the value of African human resource development has to be done without any barrier, and we don't need to put borders on that, meaning that exchange of experience has to be free without any border and any barrier.
Os Estados africanos comprometeram-se recentemente na criação da Zona Econômica Livre de Comércio em África.
African states, they have committed themselves recently about the creation of the free market zone within African countries. Free trade zone.
Mas essa zona de livre circulação também podia se deve se estender com o investimento de resto em estruturas que facilitam a mobilidade dos profissionais, em que um profissional angolano possa naturalmente ir para o Benin, possa ir para a África do Sul ou para o Ruanda, poder fazer, desenvolver os seus trabalhos.
So this program should cover also the academic sector, where professionals in the academic sector could also move freely between countries, for example, Benin, South Africa, Rwanda, for training and experience exchange.
Mas, enquanto os Estados africanos não avançam nesse sentido, felizmente as instituições existem e a RW University e Pensamentos Ativos por Angola já estão juntos como parceiros a trabalhar nesse sentido.
The matter is, when everything just stays in discussion in the paper and African states do not take a move on the way that things become reality and do not include the academic sector in the continent as well, nothing will move and all conversation discussions will only be in the papers. Hopefully, we have started to break those barriers now, when we have started now connecting with it. We are the first to do so.
E aí a nossa razão de estarmos aqui neste encontro, que desde já é de louvar e agradecemos a oportunidade que podemos trabalhar para o desenvolvimento dos profissionais africanos, podendo proporcionar também ao desenvolvimento socioeconômico dos Estados africanos.
Reason why we are here, committed to work together for the benefit of the academic sector and the professional in the education, African, to develop, to create synergy and develop together and build Africa.
Mais uma vez, em nome dos Pensamentos Ativos por Angola, queremos agradecer a oportunidade que a RW University e os seus parceiros nos concedem.
Once again, of my organization, Pensamentos Ativos para Angola, I would like to thank to be here, as well all partners in this event. Thank you so much.
E esperamos alcançar os objetivos que esse memorando de entendimento, tanto da intenção desse memorando de entendimento. Thank you for all and God bless you. Thank you.
And we hope that we will achieve the targets and the goals through this MOU. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ndolamingo Miquel from Angola. Thank you, our executive director. He's a lawyer by profession and also a clinical analyst. Thank you very much. We really appreciate my honorable. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to check if the managing director of Carlo Africa Media in Nigeria is in, Mr. Carsten Balcon. Are you in, sir?
Yes, I'm in, sir.
Oh, please.
Thank you for having me.
I hand the mic to you, please. Please, it is the platform is yours. Over to you, sir. The managing director of Carlo Africa Media in Nigeria. You may proceed, sir.
Sir. And
Certas coisas.
For
Não da intervenção.
Oh.
Bro, parabéns
Can
pela
we-
intervenção. Tiveste uma excelente intervenção.
Can I request
Parabéns
others
mesmo.
to mute the mic, please, so that we give Mr. Cousin Balkan to speak. Let us unmute our mic.
Okay, thank you.
Over to
Thank you, sir. Well, I don't want to take much time, and I'm sorry for coming late. I'm not in Nigeria, so I've been traveling, so the network here is not that stable. Let me just remain on the existing protocol. I thank you all for putting this together, especially the Revealed World University this together for us. Now, let me quickly do my side of the discussion. You know, I'm being asked to media in the socio-economic development of Africa by way of looking at what to really break down the topic. We all know what social media is, but let me just go through these definitions so that we can have a better understanding. Social media is a computer-based technology that is taught through the building of virtual world networks and communities. And by design this and gives users quick electronic communication of content. We all know the examples of social media. Our Facebook, our Instagram, and the rest of them, LinkedIn, Twitter. Now let's look at the socio-economic. When we say socio-economic, we are looking at everything that concerns our social interaction and the economic factors. Now, let's narrow it down to the role of social media. To me, the role of social media within the continent is a kind of mixed grill, in the sense that it's supposed to be a kind of positive thing. The social media is supposed to play a positive role within the continent. But from what we get to see, it's not. Expectedly, social media, from the positive side of it, has really helped, which is one of the roles. It has helped Africa to integrate the more. Look at what we're doing now. Within the continent, we all linked up, we all converged here. And this is what we should be doing often. So social media is bringing this into fruition. Because at times before COVID-19, we will be thinking about meeting, imagine in a place to have this kind of discussion. But social media has made it possible for us to converge here. I've been discussing with the CEO via WhatsApp. That is the role. That is the positive. The same thing applies to other areas where whenever we want to do certain things, we use social media. Take, for example, I've been monitoring activities within East African region, especially when it comes to the agricultural sector. Most of those people living in the developing area or those rural areas, they rely so much on internet, social media mostly. They can easily communicate. That is the role. That is a positive one. And the same thing applies to the fact that technology has helped to develop the continent in such a way that we interact more, we socialize more. Via social media, I can link up with friends in Abidjan, with friends in Cape Town, with friends in Rabat. These are the roles that are expected. Social media. I said mixed real in the sense that we now have a situation. Roles have been introduced. Nowadays, whenever news break, we find out that many people that we call citizen journalists, they kind of rush to break news. And this is a negative role because, you know, professionally, when you want to break news, you need to look at the nitty-gritty. You need to follow the steps. You need to follow the procedure. But it's a negative role that social media is playing that aspect, whereby, you know, when you break a negative news, it impacts the continent. And this is why what we have out there about the continent mostly are negative news, you know, spreading across Europe, across America. I have many of our people, you know, out there. At times before I get to know about certain development, you know, they would have gotten wind of that and they will be sending videos through social media. So these are negative roles that social media is playing, of which we need to be very, very wary of that. I remember I was in Abidjan, you know, sometime, and we were having an event there. Something happened. The terrorists, they attacked, because I'm into tourism. They attacked a place there called Grand Basin. And before we knew it, you know, the media has been something else, you know, different kinds of stories. Meanwhile, we were on the, you know, and all those negative stories started flying in and out of social media. These are negative rules. But I'm open and I'm looking forward to when social media will impact us positively, like the one we are doing now, whereby we can have education. You know, we've been having a kind of education through social media, through with Revealed World University. Those are the roles expected, positive roles, because when we look at the role of social media in the socio-economic development of Africa, we need to look at both sides. Yes, it's playing pivotal role, but we need to do more in terms of ensuring that those roles are positive roles. That has been my concern. Whenever news, good news comes to Africa, it's for our own benefit. But when negative news goes out there, it doesn't really help. So the important thing that should be for us to see how we can manage this. We are experiencing something recently in Nigeria. Twitter is being banned. You know, that's one of the social media platform that we're talking about, because that platform is being used negatively. You know that's a kind of negative role being played by social media, and those that have access to it. Now Twitter has been banned, and people are clamoring for it to be restored. We had it by an individual, you know, that belongs to a banned group in Nigeria is clamoring for a cessation of that group, you know, the Afra. And the government wants a unity, because a unified country will be what any president will be thinking of. Now, the guy named Nnamdi Kanu has been on that, but recently he was captured. And part of what led to that was that he used Twitter to pass his messages across, and he had a lot of followers. So at the point, our president tweeted, trying to inform anyone that was trying to foment trouble within the country to put a stop to it. And our president got banned. You can see those negative role that social media is playing should be well checked. But we can ensure that social media contribute positively to the development of Africa by ensuring that those of us that have access to using the platform use it positively to develop the continent. It will help. Nowadays, we are talking about, okay, we want to have our own Facebook, our own Twitter, our own platforms, so that we can be able to communicate real time, not depending on Twitter. That is foreign, that is from the United States of America. Not depending on WhatsApp, that is from the United States of America. These are the thoughts that should be coming up now, because social media, whether we like it or not, has really impacted, positively on the development of Africa. Nowadays, we now have our voices being sent out there, and governments are listening. I'll give you an example within Nigeria. There was this situation whereby a particular unit of the police department used extraordinary force to get people, suspects, says one or two things. But that was extremely, another media, government listened. That's the place, the part was banned. As I speak to you, that unit does not exist. These are the positive roles that social media can play. And we ensure that those roles must be well maintained. We can use social media to develop the continent in such a way that, I just mentioned the fact that, those people living in the rural area, through social media, they communicate. They can easily send pictures of what is happening. For instance, a particular product is within a particular market, and probably maybe they don't have it in another community. They can easily say, oh, is this what you're looking for? These are the things that we are looking for. We want to ensure that the positive role that social media is playing must be maintained. Not a situation whereby we use it negatively, because when we use social media negatively, it impacts on us. I'm not happy as a Nigerian about certain information that are out there through social media to the world, because that's not really a true reflection of what is happening within the country. But you have, I was sent a video via social media about a particular secondary school or within a vicinity that I'm very, very close to. And the video showed the students, jumping from the classroom, upstairs. And I was like, this didn't happen here. And they even went to the extent of writing Lagos, Nigeria. And I personally went to that school. Did anything like this ever happen here? I said, no. So those are the negative role that social media can play. But I'm particular about ensuring that the positive role must be well established. And for us, let me just add this, for us, these are the things, these are the challenges. I'm in the field. I'm campaigning for us to have our own platforms, because like what happened
Oh, we cannot hear you.
Okay, it seems he's a bit. Are you back, sir?
Yes, yes, I'm back. I'm back, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. So imagine the owner of Twitter claiming that he does not know that that account belonged to our president, and that he went to the extent of suspending that account. That to me was a barrier, and these are the social media helped greatly, in terms of social interaction, in terms of communication, in terms of navigation, in terms of just name it. Economic wise, people can use social media. I remember, helping a friend, to purchase a certain merchandise. On the things that we should be working on, when we are looking at the role of social media. So in conclusion, like I started, social media to me is a kind of mixed drill, in the sense that it's of positive and of negative, especially when it comes to the socio-economic development within the continent. In some other parlance, it may not be, but because in Africa, we still need that development that we desire. I was in a meeting with some individuals today, and we were talking about the roles of traditional institutions. These are the things that we need to ensure that when we have access to social media, they should play a positive role, not even contributing negatively to what we are trying to manage. If we all know what is happening in the United States and elsewhere, when it comes to shooting, some of these people, they use social media. And that is coming to Africa. When someone would decide to perpetrate a kind of evil, the next thing he wants to think about is to use social media. We've seen situations like, and all these may be kind of nip in the bud, because, like I said, it sends wrong signal, especially to those out there. I tell you, currently I have many of African Americans that really want to visit.
Okay, we cannot hear you. Maybe Ambassador.
We lost him. Yeah, we lost him. Thank you very much.
I'm back. Okay.
Yes, you can conclude, sir. It's fine.
Okay. So, in a nutshell, in conclusion, for me, the role of social media in Africa, I want it to be more of a positive one, and because it's been positive, but the negative aspect of it needs to be controlled, so that we can have our continent, and so that all our efforts at ensuring that our continent becomes thank you all for listening.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate to advise Africa that they need to have their own social media platform. That's a very good advice, and I hope great leaders are listening to assist you to achieve that objective, which will benefit African people. Allow me for now when I look at the program, I'm going to make some few changes. Yes, thank you, sir. So I'm going to request Professor Mapotsa, a professor from University of South Africa. Then after that, I will request Professor Fessa from University of Venda, then followed by Dr. Dimagacho, and then Professor Skome, in that order. For now, if Professor Mapotsa, are you in?
Yes, sir.
Please, with special respect you deserve, may I hand over the mic to you, sir? The platform is yours.
Thank you, Program Director. I'll also express my gratitude to the Revealed Word University and its partners to organize this type of a forum. All protocol observed, and thanks to those that spoke before me. If we had time, I'll be citing some of the things that are crucial in speaking to my presentation. But because I'm only a few minutes, they'll hear as I speak when I highlight the things that they've said. Here's my profile, who I am, what I'm doing, what I have, and then I'm not going to go through that as well. Colleagues, beloved brethren and sisters and Africans, there is a light at the end of the tunnel about Africans suffering. For over 400 years, Africa was under cruel and rude slave masters. The time has come where the slave master are on the verge of losing their grips, orders, and commands of Africa. The grandchildren of the slaves are now taking the rightful place in the economic development of Africa. Their eyes are now open. They know their roots and their African DNA. They want to reclaim their African wealth, which was depleted by the Europeans, the Americans, and the Arab communities. This masters communities has created a world for their kids through the sweat, the blood, and the tears of the Africans. We have our own Moses to lead us through bondage and slavery in Egypt to the promised land of Canaan. This Moses, I am referring to those that have established their council to advise us and to advise them to come up with a means to take Africa from where it is to another level and another platform. Remember, beloved, that every system of leadership that you see in the whole world, global, the world over, this is a black man's idea. Remember, Jethro, the father-in-law of Moses, who helped Moses to manage the crisis, the challenges, and the conflict that the Israelites have in the desert. Jethro come with all the plan to say, you must have this so many, you must have to work on so many. If this group fails, they take it to a higher level. If this group fail, they take it to the higher level. And you recite on top to make judgment if all these levels below you have failed. And from that moment, after the advice of Jethro, Moses has just done that. And which means the whole world, as we see today, having the premiers, and their deputies, the ministers and their deputies, the prime ministers and their deputies, and all the members of the cabinet. It was the black man's idea from Jethro, the father-in-law of Moses. So, which means a black man is having a leadership skills within him, and which means we can naturally, if we can take Africa back to where it belongs, we can lead the whole world, because we have almost everything in Africa as far as wealth is concerned. It's a pity because it's been depleted and taken outside. All the systems of leadership, as I said, you have seen today, they've been originated from Africa. Then what I would like to say that now, as I said, we have our own Moses to help us to cross the Red Sea. Those are, I will just mention the few. Those are Dr. Arikana Chihumburi. She's pioneering in Africa diaspora and taking Africa back. We have the Professor PLO Lumumba, who is specializing in law and also preaching more about what Africans should do. We have our own the chairperson of African Tourism Board, Mr. Singh Nube, who is, I think, will be speaking today on number 23 or 23rd. And with what they are doing, what they have, they can turn Africa around and make sure unemployment and any other things that are bad about Africa, they are changing. We have Omali Yashitela, the founder of Uhuru movement. And if you listen to those people that are speaking, I think they will really make a big impact in our lives, and then to see Africa in a better light and to make sure we are all joined together, we are all one unit, and then we are all fighting to make Africa work for us and leave the legacy for our children. Therefore, we need to support their vision and to change the economic landscape of Africa. The African diaspora, as Maurice has just said, explain what is diaspora. I like his explanation. Are longing to come back to the motherland of Africa. The table is set for the investment in any of the portfolio, like in ADDE, to rebuild Africa, which was plunged by the white-collar thieves who came in the name of development, providing development and healthcare facilities. The truth is that the opposite is true. We have been deceived for long. The African PEC, African Continental Free Trade, will bring hope to all Africans within and those in diaspora. Africa is now speaking in one voice to trade globally as Africa, not as different countries or nationalities, competing with diverse continents like USA. Africa will be competing with USA in the market, in the stock market. It will be now competing with UK in the stock market. It will now be competing with Germany in the stock market. No more South Africa competing with USA. No more Tanzania competing with UK. No more Zambia competing with Germany. This issue of one African currency is also underway. The one African currency, one trading policy, one Africa, everything is now on the pipeline to make sure Africa is one, and Africa goes to the world market as one unit, as one continent. These are being finalized. The move has shaken the global world economy, and their stock are plunging. Hence, we are having so many issues, the Brexit, the this and that, because now the host who has been feeding on the parasite, which is Africa, the parasite now he says no more feeding you a host. Now the host, because he was doing all great things through Africa, now things are now getting out of hands. They don't know what else could they do henceforth if Africa is pulling out of everything. And then as Africans, we now need to give African Union the new mandate about taking Africa forward with our brothers and sisters in diaspora. In that regard, I have realized that developing countries have faced massive challenges with youth unemployment, and many, as 2/3 of the youth population aged between 15 and 24 are unemployed or in irregular employment. The impact of global economic change is likely to exacerbate the problem, and high unemployment rate among young people can be a potential source of social unrest and political instability. The African in diaspora can join hands with African countries to eradicate the youth unemployment, as this directly affect socio-economic transformation of Africa. We are the generation to reverse the wrongs of the past done by the colonizers and make sure Africa's wealth belongs to her children. I can just cite Davos 19, World Economic Forum, achieving the single market in Africa. Africa needs to create 18 million jobs each year to 2035 to accommodate young labor market entrants. What role can the new ratified African Continental Free Trade Area, which will come into place in April 2018, play to address opportunities and challenges of generating inclusive growth? The 55 African countries are, as from 2019, going to the world stage to trade purposes as one custom union. Trade now is going to be easy to do business, to trade and to travel in Africa. You can do your business in whatever country that you are, be Uganda, and then your country, your business can flourish throughout the whole Africa, and other people can know about your business. Your business could be marketed throughout the whole Africa. Those African in diaspora should put their resources together to make Africa great and be part of the African Continental Free Trade Area, noting that the brain drain of many years that make Africa great, of many years that started 400 years ago, has left Africa with a minimal intellectual capacity is needed to build the Africa we want. The truth is that intellectual capacity we need is in the diaspora. The brightest and the fittest were taken from Africa through slavery, and those who moved out of Africa for greener pastures. The agenda is to renew our mind and encourage and be encouraged, as Paul said from the scriptures. Only classroom is a possibility to create those 18 million jobs per year. Millions of jobs are likely to be displaced. Business and economics will need skills labor to fulfill the millions and roles that will be created by the fourth industrial revolution. The COVID-19 pandemic showed increasingly adaptable our educators and learners can be. Supported by technology, millions of heroic teachers and service providers rose to the challenge. In turn, the education system should be designed to introduce students to a lifetime of learning by providing their learning products and services to schools across the world. Employers can increase the return on the investment as it will take to reskill the workforce. This could be funded in a similar way to today's apprentice program that provide qualifications and earnings simultaneously, but with vastly more rich and inclusivity. How can the African diaspora come into the picture? There are few structures that African diaspora can partake to make the difference in Africa, to invest for the generation to come. The Travaco. Remember, we are having so many corridors that are built by the colonizers. Now Africa is going to build its own, for the very first time, Trans-Africa Valley Corridor. This corridor is having 22 portfolios companies underneath as a parent company to be driven by the diaspora as private sector under the guidance of Dr. Benelola. The Travaco has many portfolios. For example, where African diaspora can invest. The railway company, we need to join all the African countries. They have to be joined by the railway. All the African countries must have their own airport. And that should be the investment, this investment, I think the Dr. Arikana said we only need $500 million. And if each one of us can just contribute $1 million, then that project will run, and Africa will have its own, for the future generation, it will have its own companies. All its minerals will be processed here. All its coffee will be processed here. The chocolate will be made here and be sold here. Diamond, gold will be digged here, and the rings will be made here and be sold in Africa, and so on. So there are some anchor cities portfolio that are going to. So in my case, as I'm in African tourism board member, I could just say maybe we can take the position of building the airports in, because we are in tourism in all African states. We can just contribute $1,000, and then we are in and investing, and then thereafter we can start to make sure all in each and every African state there is an airport. There is also ADDI, African Diaspora Development Institute. And as a result, formal educators can continue to expand their reach well beyond classroom lecture halls and geographic borders. And employers will increasingly attract and nurture the very best talent from the global pool, including from marginalized countries, by working collaboratively in instilling a desire for lifelong learning, early, more sustainable, inclusive, equitable growth, and improved well-being on the global scale. There are those who have taken and make Africa great. I will just cite two because of time. We need to act and react to support what the greatest awakening, to whom much is given, much will be required. Remember, this is from the word of God. We have a musician like Akon. I don't know how to pronounce his name. When you pronounce his name, he's so fast because I think he's even 12 names. Then they are all into one person. But the one common one is we know as a musician is known by Akon. The music artist, entrepreneur, philanthropist, who intend to light 1 million houses in Africa. His plan is to supply those houses with the off-grid solar energy in 14 countries. His project is named Akon Lighting Africa, and it has started because he went there and talked to many cabinet and say, I want to do this. And you can just give me, I can just give you a sample of what I'm intending to do. And then thereafter you can follow suit. And then he just uses money initially, and then start with that project of lighting street lights using solar, and also supplying the houses using solar. And that was very good. I think he also own one mine in South Africa. We have people like Winfrey Oprah, who is building schools, girls' schools in Africa. We have one school in South Africa that is built under her name, and then the girls are being taught there about leadership and all other things that they have to do. This is one of the African philosophies when people are doing that Ubuntu philosophy. That's what is driving us to this point. We are on the verge of taking leadership again. I trust, in my conclusion, I trust that God will be our divine decider as our brothers and sisters in diaspora came and invest in their motherland.
Yes, go on, Prof.
Okay, Jachala can mute. Oh, thank you. We knew before the Berlin Conference, Africa was divided into kingdoms. Before the Berlin Conference, because all these names were given, when the Berlin Conference was there was only Europeans who divided Africa into all these names that we see them today. There was no African representative there. And then Africa was only divided into kingdoms that were making a huge significance of the economic development in that time, in the economics. They were trading internally so. We will be, once again, as African, other nations are afraid to see that as Africa will change forever. We will endured all types of humiliation in the past, and that has made us to be who we are today. We now live in a brand new Africa. In due course, we will travel anywhere in Africa as a citizen of Africa with one type of passport using one currency. We now live in a new world due to COVID-19. Africa is about to change and her way of doing business. We are the government, we are the generation that must make sure that what people like Marcus Garvey said in the past are coming to pass. And at the end, I will suggest that maybe universities in Africa, they can have as a unit which will deal with the African diaspora, because university has the power for networking globally. So if we can do that, and then we can help all these associations that are there, we can help all this movement that are there, we can help all these leaders that are there. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you very much, Prof. We really appreciate. Ladies and gentlemen, we've made some few changes on the program. For now, Professor Mapote was speaking on influencing diaspora for sustainable socioeconomic and transformation of Africa. He's a professor at the University of South Africa. As for now, I'm going to request the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Research and Postgraduate Studies, University of Venda, South Africa, who will be speaking on psychological turnaround and a must transforming Africa economic in the case study of South Africa. Professor, can I hand over the mic to you? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ambassador. I would first like to thank the university for allowing us to have this opportunity. And I would also like to thank my colleagues who came before me when they were unpacking and making us realize who we are in terms of our identity as Africans and where we should be and where we need to go. I see that, Ambassador, you haven't allowed us to share our PowerPoints with you, which I would have loved to be able to.
Oh, we can.
Can you allow
me? You may
me?
do that, Prof. You're welcome. Yes.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, just allow me, because they say the Zoom is saying the host disabled the participant screen sharing.
The CEO will give you that privilege. Thank you.
Okay.
Now you can.
Okay, while waiting for the...
Yes, now you can.
Okay. While waiting for that permission to come on my side, let me try again. Okay, it looks like I can. Thank you very much then, colleagues. As the ambassador has already said, that I'm going to talk about the psychological turnaround, a must in transforming African economies, a case study of South Africa. I am sharing just this case study, but I want us to really look deep and also reflect on ourselves as individuals in Africa. If really we are serious about leaving a legacy that our children will never spit in our graves. I would like to share that this is what has been happening in South Africa since early 2011 in terms of employment, which then took a turnaround that in 2019, we started seeing ourselves going down in terms of employment, meaning therefore our economy was slightly going down. The most interesting thing, if you look at what is happening, if you look at my orange color, it shows the small businesses that were starting to grow. But look, during the years of 2018, 2019, that small business unit, which is orange, became less and less. And what does that mean? That means that people started depending. What do I mean about dependency? I am also sharing dependency rate to the government. Most, about 44% of South Africans depend on grants. What does that mean about our economy? What does that mean about Africa? It means we have started to have bad habits. As Africans, we've lost our pride. This is what is happening in our environment. This is what we are doing as Africans in our environment. Look how much we don't take care of our environment. But we do know, we have been taught in our cultures and also in how we were taught, if you fish in the sea, you do not take what you are not going to use. You take what you are going to use and you leave back what needs to go there and grow more so that you never go hungry. But all of a sudden we changed and we became greedy. And out of that greediness, this is the environment we are enjoying as Africans. Is this what we want to be? That is why I am saying we need to have a psychological turnaround of where we want to go and look reflectively on ourselves so that we are able to move forward. Look at our roads that we have. We move around, we continue having such roads without doing anything, without taking any responsibility. But at the end of the day, we are saying we really want to grow and we want to own our own land and own our resources and boom with our own economies. So I am saying there are small pockets of excellence in Africa. And I must proudly say they are led by women. Women have decided we are not going to sit at home and do nothing. They have decided to go and work hard on farming. They have decided to go and work hard as small business owners. They have decided to go and open businesses where people are in our townships, in our villages. They have started to work hard, to use their hands, to produce all our beautiful cultural jewelry. Women are doing a lot, but there is a group of men that is beginning to bring some pride also in our space. There is a group of men that looked around and saw that there are no jobs. Let's start doing recycling. And when they started it, they did experience resistance. They did experience people who wanted to exploit them on top of that, but they continued because they had an agenda to take care of their families. They had an agenda not to sit at home and continue with crime and started working as we see that. So what I am saying is, as Africans, we really need to take a turnaround and say, we are going to look for opportunities. We will stop this thing of handouts. We will stop pointing to other people that this is what they need to do for us. But we will stand up and work hard to make sure that we turn around our economies. We turn around our systems. We take care of ourselves. We bring back the pride of an African man. We bring back the dignity of an African man. We have lost it. We need it bad. And therefore, for us to be able to achieve all these wonderful ideas I have heard this evening, we need to get ourselves back, get our identities back, and be proud of who we are and work hard for our nations. We have developed an interesting culture. When I move around townships, move around our urban areas where we have decided to go and stay, we are making pavings in our lands so that we do not plant. We are so lazy. We do not want to work on the land. We rather make life easy by paving it so that it's easy. We don't get dust, but we are hungry. There is no dust, there is hunger. So therefore, I am saying tonight, let's unite, my brothers and sisters. Let's unite in hard labor. even our God we believe in, we dearly talk about with our hearts, was a hard-working man. He never slept, but he decided to create every day. So what about us? What are we doing? Whom are we like? And therefore, I am saying, let's work on our psychological being and turn things around and stop undermining people by giving them food parcels, taking away their dignity. What we need to do is to provide them small plots for agriculture so that they can feed their families. Let us stop taking business into urban areas. Let us enhance village and township economies by bringing business opportunities near them. Let us stop using limited transportation that doesn't allow them to bloom their economy and also transport what they produce. Let's allow the rail to come back into the system. I hear Professor Mapoto talking about rail transport across Africa, and I support
there,
that.
Prof.
Let's make sure farming is fashionable. We know what it can do in Africa. Let's use the land. There's a lot of unused land because of urbanization. Let's regulate the middleman who taxes our people for their products. They get peanuts for what they produce because the middleman enriches himself by selling their products on their behalf. Let us work hard on this and let us make meaning on it. Colleagues, I'm not going to take too much of your time. I thank you.
Wow, Prof, thank you very much. We are so humbled. We really appreciate your time. The Deputy Vice Chancellor at the University of Benda, South Africa. And congratulations for the new position, Prof.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ambassador.
We wish you all the best. We wish you all the best. Thank you. And now I'm going to ask Dr. Magajuma Luela, who is the founder of Women of Value South Africa, and also who is the CEO of WUVA Women of Value Africa, and also is the brand ambassador for African Tourism Board, and also the founder of House of Delicacy, non-alcoholic wine in Africa. Honorable Doctor, please allow me to hand over the mic to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Program Director, and thank you for this time. I know it's towards 9 o'clock. I'm an early person, not a very late person. So maybe just to render my apology that the energy won't be like if it was early in the morning. But thank you for this opportunity. I have shared a video with yourself. That is a 1-minute video that you can just play to show the members who are on the platform. But before I can say that, maybe going forward is just to appreciate everyone, acknowledge the leadership, acknowledge my mentors in this group, acknowledge Revealsword University for this partnership, and also WWLC, my mentor, who is Mr. Cuthbert Ncube, the chairman for ATB, and all the members in this group and in this platform this evening. I welcome you. And just to correct Ambassador Levy, I'm not the CEO for WOVA. I am the president for Women of Value Africa, and the chairperson for Women of Value Africa is Ambassador Angela Martha from Angola. Maybe just to clarify that part. Mr. Levy is
my apology, Madam President.
It's fine. Okay, it seems like we are struggling with the sound of the video. Maybe allow me while you are still trying to make sure that we are able to play this video clip.
Yes,
As it has
was,
been presented, my name is.
I was
Yes, sir.
I was playing the video. If you can hear, I can go on.
Okay, maybe I should just for the sake of time, let me just give my short presentation, an introduction of who we are. We are Women of Value Africa, registered in South Africa as Women of Value SA in 2012. Our programs, they cut across, we've got 4 portfolios, of which it's ESG program, which focuses on SMMEs and cooperatives development. I think I want to also applaud the professor who just spoke after, before me. She touched based a lot in terms of the development and the transformation of our own people so that they can be able to sustain themselves rather than waiting for someone to come and do it for them. And the other portfolio that we've got is the business forum, of which it focuses on trade and investment. Also, the part of the sectors value chain, whereby we also introduced women and young people to different sectors, as we could see that when pandemic happened, although it really hurt us, like, off guard, but we had to try to find a way of how to survive, especially those who have been in the industry and the sectors that are more affected or negatively impacted. For an example, with our tourism sector, which is the sector that I'm also very much involved into. So we need to then make sure that we introduce our people to other sectors or the value chains within the sectors that are there, where they can be able to tap onto those opportunities. And the other part that we do, one of the portfolio, is on the regional event. In May this year, we signed MOU with AUAPRM to be the organization that is going to facilitate Pan-African Women's Day. Starting in July this year, we will send out the invitation the following week. It's gonna run virtual, but we are planning to have the actual hybrid event that is going to take place end of August. And our focus area, it is in terms of making sure that our communities are transformed, as we said, into different sectors, understanding what is happening in their own countries. Like, for instance, in South Africa, we've been partnering a lot with government agencies. We work very close with a small enterprise development agency, which is CEDA. We run the entrepreneurship summit during November month, whereby we invite the women SMMEs and cooperatives to attend such events, where they are presented by a lot of information for them to know what is happening in their country. In most cases, I would want to stress the lack of information which is shared amongst ourselves, that in most cases there are a lot of opportunities that are out there, but most of our community members, most of women, SMMEs, cooperatives, even men, we don't know about those opportunities. So as Women of Value Africa, we create an opportunity to share information that cooperatives or, SMMEs, as we're saying, enterprises, small enterprises, they can be able to take an advantage of. The other thing that we promote, it is forming strategic partnerships. We always stress it a lot, amongst our people to stop seeing each other as a threat, but rather to look at opportunities and the strength from each other and how they can join hands and, start working together. We always say to our women, I will give an example with women in textile, especially those who are in the cooperative sector, whereby they you will find that I've got only few machines, and there is an opportunity, a big opportunity that we can be able to supply a corporate or government. But because I don't have that capacity, I won't be able to access that. So we always encourage them to start forming groups amongst themselves, strategic partnerships, so that they can work together. And besides that, also looking at our regional opportunities within Africa as a whole. We know with the ACTFA, is it? Yeah, Africa Continent Free Trade Areas Agreement, that how we can be able to take an advantage of that. So within this platform, I so believe that we are here to share information and to learn from each other on what exactly each other, one or another partner is doing, so that we can be able to leverage on that. One thing that we are looking at working with Reverse Wet University, it is in terms of the capacity building programs that we will be running in the continent. Because within the ESD program, we do have training, we offer training as well. So we are looking so forward to also partner with others, other partners within the platform as well, and looking forward to working together. And there's a say that I always like it so much when they say, alone I can go faster, but together we can go far. As Africans, we so believe that we will be able, to raise above the current situation. We know the borders that have been built. Our motto as Women of Value, we say we are breaking borders and building bridges. So I believe that, with this platform and the partnership, it is exactly what we are doing at this particular moment. And one day we will make an impact. I also believe that, the impact that we make, it's not like an impact of how many people, even if it's 1% that you have changed, you will find that that 1% is also going to change another person's or impact another person's life. So with those few words, I would like to say we appreciate the platform, and I really apologize. As I said, I wake up very, very early, and this time around, I always go back. I go to bed around about 8 o'clock. So it has been a very long day, and for me to speak this time, it is really a mission and a half. But thank you so very much. And I would like to wish each and every organization in this group the best of luck in everything that they do. I really, and saying with the Vice Chancellor, our women leaders, we really appreciate you. You are our, you keep us going, and we appreciate that. And also to my ambassador, Honorable Levy, thank you so much for always supporting, and may you continue to do that. And may the grace of God keep us, during this trying time. As we're still alive, we should not lose hope and keep faith. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you very much, Honorable President. We really appreciate. Actually, today, the KDD, the Women of Value, the Penta activists from Angola, They are the organization which are going into memorandum of agreement with the Revealed Word University. We really thank you very much, Honorable President, for the kind words. As for now, I'm going to give the mic to the Professor Sekome from University of Limpopo in South Africa, Limpopo province. He will be speaking through SME's participation in intracontinental trade. Professor, may I hand over the mic to you? I thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm trying to share my screen here. Ambassador, apparently you have a disabled participation of the screen sharing.
Now you are share. You can share, Professor.
I'm usually not the one of the formal individuals, but today let me be a little bit formal. Greetings to Chancellor of the Revealed World University, our host institution, and staff, Rwandans and Angolans, the speakers present today, Africa as a whole, and other attendees that are streaming from other continents. As I've already been indicated, my name is Professor Gogo Sekome. I am linked with the University of Limpopo. I'm also the founder and CEO of Plessy Capital. Today, I just want to advocate for my my main area of interest, which is improving African lives through SMME participation in intracontinental trade. There is a common saying that Africa produces what it does not consume and consumes what it does not produce. I need us to change this view. The question that I have is whether Africa is a continent of mismatch. The reason being, while we consume what we don't produce and produce what we don't consume, there is also an outcry from the multinational companies that say, if they want to grow in Africa, there is a lack of skills in Africa, while the Africans on the other side are complaining about lack of employment. The skills we possess as Africans do not match the employment opportunities that are needed in Africa or the developmental needs of Africa itself. The question is why? So for us to develop African legacy, we need to start focusing or directing our energy towards our challenges. We need to explore our strengths and take advantage of the strengths and opportunities that we have. And one of the biggest strengths I will indicate as Africans is our collective nature of living. And one can explore that if you look at writers like Waweru and others around from the continent, they will indicate to you that we are unique as Africans because we are able to live in a collective setup. And this should be our strength, especially when we come to small and medium enterprises. Today is about the small, medium and micro enterprises, as already indicated, but I need to also double click on the role of SMMEs as a key employer in both developing countries and developed countries. Several leaders, I'll cite few, like President Obama, indicated how important the small and medium enterprises are in employing majority of the nation. And also on the other side, a lot of researchers have also indicated the role of SMMEs as significant contributors to key economic indicators like gross domestic product, amongst others. These obviously all have a positive impact on the economic standing of a country. So, but however, it appears as if the agenda of the small and medium enterprises takes the backseat when it comes to important meetings like African Union, important meetings like SADC, and important meetings at the parliaments of various countries in Africa. So what are the challenges that are faced by SMMEs in general and in Africa in particular? I should indicate that 2 decades ago, in my country, South Africa, SMME owners complained a lot about lack of access to funding. I do not know, and we should all reflect, what is the case in Kenya? What was the case in Nigeria, and what was the case in Ethiopia? Thanks to the government of South Africa. Today in South Africa, we have more funding schemes than we have number of applications received. In fact, some of the committees for those fundings never sit in 12 months because there is simply no application for that funding type. But when I met the SMMEs, the 100 SMME owners a few years ago in Musina near Beitbridge, they complained a lot about access to markets. They said, we have the funding, we have the capital, and we have the product. But we need access to the markets. So here I need to indicate that, and I need to minimize this. I need to indicate here that the SMMEs in Africa experience limitations in accessing markets, usually to their own countries of incorporation. However, the consumers in various other countries in the same African continent have to source similar products from countries in other continents. So we go out and go buy something in China or something in America, but while something similar to that is produced in Botswana. I'll indicate, for example, Rwanda produces a lot of coffee. We have Ethiopia producing coffee, but we do still have coffee coming from other continents. The question is, why are we not exploiting these opportunities that we have? Why? Is it true that by design, the current international trade system bars SMMEs from participating meaningfully or successfully? We can talk both from the intracontinental or also intercontinental trade perspective. Can we design platforms that allow easy access to SMME products in various African countries? I will tell you, at the age that I am at the moment, I am not aware of even a single name of an SMME, for example, say in a country like Nigeria or in a country like Angola. The question is why? Look at other continents, for example, or maybe even a country like China. Platforms like Alibaba.com makes it simple for you to know what the SMMEs in China are making and also to make order, because issues like insurance when you buy from another country comes into play. You can't just buy over from a Facebook. Issues like, can I receive my delivery? Issues of payment come in. So platforms like Alibaba.com now simplifies from both the orderer's perspective and also the supplier perspective, that those transactions will ensure that they are all fulfilled. So can we copy something like that? Can we partner with such organizations to create similar platforms for our own countries so that we can have easy access to other countries' SMME products? Is it about time we revisit the bilateral agreements to ensure that they cater for the SMME producers? What support systems are the member states of the African Union, SADC and others, have in facilitating participation of the SMMEs in intercontinental trade? Are we doing anything at all? Is it what we're doing even enough to make an impact? COVID-19 have highlighted how larger business organizations quickly released large number of employees. More importantly, COVID-19 lockdowns have emphasized the need for Africa to be independent and self-sufficient. Look at the race to the COVID-19 vaccine. In the spirit of Ubuntu, I thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Prof.
We really appreciate for your time and patience in the manner that you have presented your theme. We really appreciate that. Maybe before I call the CEO of KTT Investment, is also one of the people who have just signed MOU with Revealed University. I'm going to hand over the mic to Her Excellency Royal Highness Prince Debbie Dineo Raputi, who is an African president of World Women Leading Change, South Africa, and also who will be speaking on opportunities for women to make Africa great. With special respect, you deserve, my honorable president, and thank you for allowing us to accommodate our guest speakers and the new partners who will be partnering with Revealed University. I really appreciate your patience in that order. With special respect, I'm handing over the mic to Royal Highness, the African President of WWLC. Over to you, Madam President.
Yes, good evening, my Ambassador Debbie. And also my greetings go to Revealed World University, the ones that we have signed the MOU with, and even the professors, academics that are with us in this platform. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. I think before I speak, you know, I'm from the World Women Leading Change, and I'm going to ask the CEO really to share my screen if ever you've got my presentation. But before I speak, the most important thing is to speak about change. And I'm going to quote from the Bible, Isaiah 43, verse 18 to 19. Remember not the former things, not consider the things of old. Behold, I'm doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. That is about change. And I've heard all the scholars, academics, and you know, when you go to the Google, you know, the one that is feeding us, it says that the most important universities, you find them in America, in Europe, but they will never say anything about Africa. And I always say that 1 + 1 is always 2. You go to Harvard University, you go to Oxford University, and sitting with professors, academics, researchers here, we should not really undermine ourselves. I even liked one of the professors that spoke about the importance of technology. This is the time that we should speak our stories. This is the time that we should also feed those Googles, and we must tell them that 1 + 1 in any university, 1 + 1 is equals to 2. Academics, change is very important, and World Women Leading Change, World Women Leading Change, it was formed through technology during this, the scourge of COVID-19. And from my slide 1, I will just tell us about World Women Leading Change. We are the World Women Leading Change, which is a global movement here in Africa and also in Asia. We know that we are having 7 continents, but what I can say at the moment, we are having footprint in about 5 continents in the world. Can you be please, not fast? Can we go to slide number 2? In slide number 2, you can see that we are so diverse, young, old, experienced. Our vision statement is to empower leading women across the world to lead change and give impact to their families, world fields, community, environment, and industry under United Nations Global Sustainable Development Goals. Our vision statement: to advance sustainable development, humanitarian response, and facilitate public goods through knowledge sharing. Can we go to the slide, the other slide? You can see some of us with the leadership of the World Women Leading Change. What we do, we connect women. Can we go up a little bit? We connect women after that beautiful picture. Okay, go up. We connect women from all walks of life. We bring down barriers of hindering women growth. We motivate, we inspire, we mentor. We rise and thrive together. And bringing changes. You can see that we've got sectors. In our sectors, it is comprised of the following sectors. The most important issue here is about education, because in that education, we must have a building which is part of the real estate. I think university is part of the real estate. Creative arts, to speak as we are really talking to each other. Wellness, infrastructure. The infrastructure, as I'm the president of Africa, from Cairo to Cape, and we know that how many Ks are there from Cairo to Cape, and also the topographics, what we have in Africa. We know we've got the most important, powerful rivers in Africa, about 7 of them. And it is us, in order that when we are going to make movement of trade of people, the Africa continental free trade, the rivers can also be utilized to ensure those movements through the infrastructure. We know that our infrastructure here in Africa it's appalling. It is us, researchers, academics, business people, that we can also make our infrastructure to be a competent and competitive to the global world. We've got kids leading change. We don't walk alone. You know what I like with the Indians community? They always take along their kids to grow with them. But with us Africans, we leave our kids behind. I heard one of my learned academic professor said that the importance of environment, it is so crucial that we should be able to play an important role in the environment, the recycling, the reusing, and all those things that can be able even to assist in increasing our economy. Marketing, it is very crucial through the technology that our brother has said, but do we have our own marketing tool as Africans to ensure that whatever trade that we will be trading with other countries, are we having a marketing vehicle to market our goods and services? The agriculture, I remember our World Women Leading Change, one of our founder, President Ayla, she said that it is very crucial that Dubai they cannot eat oil. Other Eastern countries, they cannot eat oil. They should depend on us. But because we as Africans, we are not organized, that is where we can be able to feed the entire world. I even spoke about technology, hospitality, which goes hand in glove with tourism. I'm also a tourist guru. I've been in tourism business, and in everything that we do, whether you go to Alexander Township here in South Africa, it's part of tourism, because tourism, it says to travel, you get empowered, and traveling brings more knowledge and it brings more understanding. Health, how can we be, we speak about the economic spin-offs, but we don't care about our bodies. It is very crucial. Sports is also part of tourism. We are saying that it is very crucial that whatever that we do, they say that the beginning of wisdom is to fear the Lord. It is very crucial that we should also make some references to some other, some other books that will empower us, either the Bible, the Quran, and all. So it's very important that as women, we should come and pray for whatever that we want to accomplish in this world. Even the elderly, we must learn from our elderly people. You know, those who came before us, you know, the people who have left the legacies. That is where we draw our strength. And even the disabled people, that is what we are doing as Women Leading Change, and even the media. Can we go up in my slide, please? A little bit, go up. Yeah, up again, up, World Women Leading Change. Another slide. Yes, can we go up? You can see those pretty faces here. Go a little bit down. As I said, in Africa, I'm the World Women Leading Change, Princess Debbie Dineo Raputi. That is I'm the co-founder and even the president of World Women Leading Change Africa. Our deputy president is President Mankole Masisi Takisi. She's the sister of the president of Botswana. She is my deputy president, the deputy president of Africa in the World Women Leading Change. And we've got this very young, dynamic sister of mine, President Rebecca Murudu. She is the one who is coordinating us. I call her the chief whip in here in the World Women Leading Change. You can see how organized we are. And we are having footprints in other African countries. In Zambia, we've got a very excellent, dynamic woman, President Judith Mwila. She's from Zambia. We've got and she is the one who is leading light and prayer for us. And we've got a young girl by the name of President Keletso Elayakosi from Botswana. She is the one who is leading the global kids leading change. We've got also sectors there. And we've got our President Pasha Masango from DRC. She is responsible for agriculture in Africa. We've got also a very young woman. Her name is Chase. Chase, she is a guru in technology. And you can see how young she is. She is from Namibia. We've got the president of Youth Leading Change here in Africa is President Tando Bukula. She's leading change. And we've got also President Naama Lekade. She's in the creative arts. You speak about Africa fashion, not Louis Vuitton. I don't know Louis Vuitton. I don't know Levi, but I want to wear things that are made in Africa. We should desist in promoting people who are getting richer and richer, even not knowing them and not even plowing back in Africa. But if you can see President Nomale Kade, she is promoting Africa, gears, Africa fashion. And we've got our young leader, she is also doing administration for us, and she is the one who put everything together. She is our global president, President Lesego, and she is also teaching you about issues of wellness, the endometriosis, the meiosis. If ever you want to know about this kind of problem that is, women are suffering from, especially young women. We can see, we are so diverse. We have made we MOUs with different organizations, that women of Hoover. We have made a MOU with other organizations, South Africa Tourism Board, and we are also having, you can see that we have spread all over. As I said, we are in Botswana, Angola, Namibia, in Zimbabwe, in Malawi, Mozambique. We are also in Gambia, and we are trying to have some footprints in other organizations. So we are calling you. We are saying to you, people in this platform, we are waiting for your wives. We are waiting for your sisters, aunts, daughters, grannies to join the World Women Leading Change. And I loved what President Dimakato said. She said, that is the African proverbs. That African proverb, it speaks as, if you want to walk fast. That is an African proverb that President Dimakato said. If you want to walk fast, walk alone. But if you want to walk far, we must be collective, and we must assist one another. And is then we can see investment, economy growing, and be able to have proper infrastructure from Cairo to Cape, having the best university like Revealed Word of a Revealed Word University, being the anchor in Africa. It is us here, whilst we were in Dubai, whilst we were in Indonesia, whilst we were writing MOUs with other women across the country. We want to work with you so that we can be able to leave the legacy. Be part of us. We are World Women Leading Change in 1.4 billion people in Africa. We need you. Be part of us. Love and light. Princess Debbie Dineo Raputi. Love you. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
My honorable president, thank you very, very, very much. As always, I'm very proud of you because you inspire the nation. You make people
Yes, Ambassador, cannot hear you clearly. Yes, Ambassador.
over the mic to the CEO of KDD Investment, Luanda, Angola. Over to you, sir, if you are still in the platform, which will be my honor. Thank you.
Hello.
Is he in? Oh, there you are.
Yes.
Please
don't know if you can hear me.
Can hear you properly, yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
Please, you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes,
Go
we
on.
can hear you. Yeah, go on,
Okay.
sir.
Please, I thank you for this opportunity. And I would like to ask the Professor Celeste if he can help me because I want to speak in French.
Yes.
If possible.
Let's ask our Professor Veronique.
Okay,
Professor
okay.
Veronique to help you is a French-speaking leader. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, CEO.
Professor Veronique, are you there?
Ok.
No.
Je voudrais remercier l'opportunité qui m'est donnée.
Yeah, I would like to thank the opportunity that is given to me
pour participer à cet événement.
To participate to this event.
Madame et Monsieur, bonsoir.
Yeah, he's greeting us.
Okay.
Yes.
Je voudrais commencer mon intervention pour
I would
dire
like to start my speech by quoi?
Pour toutes les occasions pour les business.
Tu peux répéter la phrase?
Ok. Je voulais dire que toutes les occasions pour un grand business ont besoin d'une connexion.
There's some noise. Il y a des bruits. Who is making noise? I don't understand very well.
Et ça va maintenant, je peux?
Ouais. Parlez un peu clairement pour que je puisse bien interpréter. Oui.
Okay. Je voulais commencer pour dire que tous les business ont besoin d'une connexion.
All businesses needs connection.
Ces connexions qu'on appelle en anglais network.
That one. Yes, he has given the word in English. Yes.
Okay. Par les efforts qui soient partagés, augmente les possibilités d'une perspective réussie.
For all efforts, that it's a bit difficult. Yeah.
Come on again.
Jean-Baptiste.
Ok. Je veux demander à Madame si elle peut m'aider aussi. Madame Angela. C'est elle qui puisse nous aider.
Yes. Ambassador Angela, can you assist, please? If not, Professor Jean-Baptiste is
Ambassador
also
Angela,
ready.
Can you assist interpreting?
Okay, I will try.
French to English. Okay. Who else? CEO?
Monsieur Maddock.
Who else can also assist in French translation?
Okay.
Rhoda?
Merci, Madame Angela. J'allais dire que toutes les créations de business a besoin d'une opportunité.
To
Yes.
open a business, we need an opportunity.
L'opportunité qui joue un rôle d'intermédiaire.
Pour cette, on a toujours aussi besoin d'un intermédiaire, même si l'opportunité.
Oh, I cannot hear you. Let me try.
Il y a quelques difficultés.
Yes, Dachala, can you go on, please?
Okay.
I may try also. Yeah.
Ouais. Ok. Ceci dit, je veux. Ceci dit.
Excuse me. Can you send your text if they can share the screen? We can be able to translate.
Okay.
All right, that's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
My laptop just lost power, but he will read
Your
now.
text while we close.
The same device, and we move.
Now, yes, now it's okay. We can hear you clearly. Ambassador Angelo, you can go on.
Ceci dit, donnera la place à l'apparition d'un tour operator qui se présente différemment en topologie.
Okay. I'm setting up my mind now from English to French. But if I can interpret, if I can say what was said here now, to set up a business, we need always an opportunity. And opportunity is not enough.
Okay. Yes. It's either we circulate. It's either we circulate his speech to Professor Veronica and Professor Jacques. They go through it and then they interpret for us, or you interpret for you. Vice Chancellor, which one is much more accommodative?
He did a handwriting.
We really want his message.
He did write his notes, so I think it's better himself to read it. So he will read and I will repeat. I did set up my mind to French now because I was on Portuguese.
Okay, it's fine. Honorable CEO of Qatar, KADD Investments, Luanda in Angola, can you proceed with special respect to sir? Please, go ahead, sir.
Okay. Ils ont toujours un rôle intermédiaire entre les clients et les compagnies qui détiennent les produits et les services.
Tour operator, they play a role they play a role between the service provider or the product supplier and the client.
Ça ouvre la porte de la création d'une grande famille d'affaires composée par les produits tout offert à client.
It does open a door to build a big family, a business family, which will be built between product, client, as well tour operators, who is the middle, who makes the role of the link, who is the link between the product, service, and the client.
Les produits fournis doivent surtout répondre aux nécessités et aux expectatives des clients spéciales et personnalisées, sérieux et honnêtes.
The product needs to fulfill the needs of the clients, as well his expectative, where the responsibility as well where the quality is a high requirement.
En Afrique, les services de tour operator sont déjà bien développés dans certains pays.
In Africa, the tour operator service are already well developed in certain countries,
De telle façon qu'on peut avoir des informations et accès à n'importe quel endroit où on trouve l'argent.
such way that we can get information as well products and service from everywhere and supplied to anywhere. Even you don't need to move and be together with the supplier, but the tour operators can assist on linking the client and the supplier.
Le rôle de tour operator est important dans l'approche des professionnels du secteur dans notre continent.
The role of tour operator is very important because it approach the professional of different sectors in our continent, Africa.
Tout ça au bout d'aider à unir l'Afrique et créer un vrai système d'apprentissage.
All this with the target of uniting Africa as well to create and facilitate exchange of information and experience.
Facilitant l'échange de l'expérience est trop positif et un gain pour notre continent.
Exchange facilitation in Africa is very positive, and it is a gain. It is a win-win for all involved in Africa business.
Je voudrais remercier pour l'opportunité qu'il m'a donnée de partager ces expériences.
I would like to thank for this opportunity and for sharing this few information.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, the team from Angola.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Angela, for the grateful translation. And we're looking forward that his speech should be sent to the CEO so that we get more meaning and clarification. We really appreciate. And thank you for all of you for being patient and for waiting to hear. This is the beauty of Africa, the different diversity of our language. And thank you. Thank you. We really appreciate. I'm not sure whether if Dr. Jacques is in, CEO, can you advise me?
No, Dr. Jacques is not there.
Okay, thank you. Then we are left with Honorable Angela, our ambassador, and Mr. Stephen Ngobeni, and lastly, His Excellency Sir Cuthbert Ngube. Angela?
Yes, please. Can you hear me?
Yeah, the mic is in your control. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. That is very wonderful to be almost the last to talk because everything was said and we want to repeat. I did prepare a presentation, but I won't share it. I won't even go through it because most of things that I have put were already mentioned. And because we need to save time, I will just say part of it. But before of all, I wanted to acknowledge our founder and counselor of RW, our representative, our professors, and all representatives for RW, my dear mentor and my boss as well, Dr. Kabet Kube for African Tourism Board, my dear president, my boss, Di Macaso, Maluela, my fellow Angolans, my family from Ivory Coast, all protocol reserved, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure always to be together and try to think what we can do to make greater our Africa. I will bring a bit of a story. If we go some centuries a bit back, from 18 April to 24 April 1955, Africa had a very big event in Indonesia. Where African peoples and some African countries and Asia countries, they came together to create a self-force economic and a political force at that time. And that time was the time that Africa was preparing or was fighting for their liberation, saying stop to colonization. But some time back, when we go to 1885, that time something happened at Berlin. What did happen? They divided Africa like a cake, where they divided Africa like a cake, and we have that Africa we have today with those 54 pieces, where European, each one took one piece and they were happy. And that one brought something different in our history. Like before, we did not exist. We just started existing from the arrival of European from the century 14 something. Yeah. So this is what brought the spirit of 1955, where Africa decided to start talking with Asia and see, oh, how, let us help us and let us find, do something together, because Asia also was colonized by European. Why I bring that history now? Since then, Africa was worried to bring back its own dignity that was taken previously. This is good. But what is happening in reality? We sit, we discuss, we create institutions, but we don't move. Why? Because till now we accept the fact that we are divided. But if we take the fact of division to make again ourselves strong, like we were divided, there was no respect of our language, our culture. We have now, we can have 4 countries with similarity in the culture, even sharing same language. We have this situation in Africa, but we are not using it to make ourselves more strong. And this also the barrier for our social and economic development. So it's time now to stop it and use our institutions, African institutions that were created to achieve their goals. We have AU. AU agenda is, the agenda is great. We used to follow the meetings and the results and the memorandum signed between countries, but we don't feel effectively in the socio-economic development the result of those speech commitments, because when our government sits, they don't directly involve the private sector, the communities, because the problems are happening in the communities and not in the office of, not in the office, is in the community. We feel the poverty in the community, not in the office. We feel the lack of education or a good education in our communities. Is the communities that is hungry. So if our institutions, our African institutions are really interested, focused, and committed to find solutions for our problems, we need to include communities that are suffering from those problems. To say that division made centuries ago, centuries back, when we use that division to make us stronger, opportunity, because we had opportunity of each country to get experience separately. And this experience is time to share now. What is happening now in Africa? We have people with natural resource, very rich, but those peoples are the most poorest. We have people that are already quite developed, and some of them, they are not rich, they don't have much natural resource. What we should do, it's an opportunity to exchange experience, to exchange value, to exchange as well resource. Does not make sense for us Africans to keep on exporting the products which will be transformed out of Africa and come to be sold to us when we have some countries in Africa that can already transform some products. Does not make sense when we have products with a lot of land, which just they need is engineers, and when we should share engineers. Just to say that even our problems, the problems that each country has, is an opportunity for us to grow now. We need to share everything. I have highlighted some points which should be our point zero, if we can say, our starter for our way forward, for our social and economic development. We have great opportunities to share from our tourism potential. It is an opportunity for us to share. We have also a need in so many countries, a need of education of quality. And we have some countries that could supply. I felt a bit sad when I heard that there is a program for scholarship for my country, but no, there is not in the list any African university. I felt sad because I think an African university will train better an African professional to develop Africa, because we have same reality, we have similarity in geographically, we have similarity in the culture, and we understand each other because we have same feelings. I'm not saying that we can share from overseas, but when we go to share at overseas, is not to go to bed, has to be to share, because we also have something to give, and we will also have a lot of things to ask, meaning that should be a win-win relationship, not like a donor and a beggar. We have opportunities even from the poverty. If there is poor countries in Africa and there is developed already countries, the program that Africa has to eradicate poverty is an opportunity to develop Africa as well, because we exchange experience. We have opportunity on doing business. Why Angela has to look first for a partner in France or Portugal or Switzerland, and I don't start from Zambia, Zimbabwe, Namibia, Congo, and Gabon that are closer to us. We even have cultural and tourism as well, so many programs that can empower our programs, can empower our social economic condition situation. We have another big opportunity actually by the time that we are discussing.